So, good morning, everyone. This is co-convener of National Web Series on Developing Sustainable Growth Strategies through Emerging Management Trends. I am Assistant Professor Kiran Nagpur. In this webinar, we have started discussing the sustainable growth strategy with the topic of digital environment. Then on the second day only, we have talked about the CSR. The third day, which was yesterday, we talked about the seeds of sustainability. Today, we are going to touch another important aspect, which is environmental sustainability. And as we all know that when nature is left alone, it has tremendous ability to care for itself. However, when human enters the picture and uses many of the natural resources provided by the nature, things change. So human actions can deplete the natural resources, and without application of environmental sustainability methods, long-term viability will not be compromised. So, for the same, as I said that environmental sustainability is concerned with whether the natural resources will be protected and maintained for future generations. Just a second. For future generation, basically it is a responsible interaction with the nature for our upcoming generation, right? So I would like to start this session with a small story. The story started like this: that let's say Timmy wants, a person called Timmy wants to pick the apples from his apple tree. So as Timmy sees it, he has two options. He can grab a step ladder and go up to where the apples are, or he can grab an axe and cut down the apple tree. So, as in Timmy thinks the second option is a great idea because
Or we can grab an egg and cut down
with
the
the
apple tree.
cumbersome
So
ladder,
as
he can
in
just
Timmy
chop
thinks
down the
the
trees
second
and
option is a great idea,
bring the
or
apples
we
to
can
the
grab
ground level, where he can easily pick them out. So Timmy is getting proud of himself for coming up with the solution, but I bet you can see a problem here. While Timmy has plenty of apples for his immediate needs, he will have not his needs met next year because he cut that tree, right? So Timmy did not sustain his natural resource, and it will no longer be available to him in next year. By chopping down the apple tree, he overlooked the importance of environmental sustainability. So today we will look at this concept and a few ways which we apply to ensure that future generations can enjoy the natural resources of our planet which has to offer. On that note, today we are very fortunate to have Miss Kalpana Chinchkhede. She is a forest officer in range forest officer for Forest Development Corporation of Maharashtra. She is working in Nagpur. She has done her Masters of Zoology. She has recently submitted her PhD thesis to RTM Nagpur University. Her topic was ecology, status and conversion of avifauna of Navegaon National Park, Gondia, Maharashtra. She has a few research papers in her credits with the international journals. She has written one book on identification of birds for the children. She has actively participated in various activities and the programs related to the nature education and wildlife conservation since 19 years. She has established eco clubs at three local schools in 2002 and had conducted many activities and workshops in this field since last 5 years. She has won 5 wildlife photography competitions. She has written, directed, and presented various kits on various issues concerning wildlife conservation. during the celebration of Wildlife Week by the Forest Department. Now she is officially connected with the groups that plant trees in and around Nagpur. So I welcome you, ma'am, on behalf of our principal, Dr. Sahibrao Chauhan, IQC coordinator and India coordinator, Professor Palishpreet Agrawal, assistant coordinator, Dr. Shrikant Bavse, convener of this national web series, Professor Shubhangi Chepulkar ma'am, and I, co-convener of this webinar series, Professor Kiran Nagre. And over to you, ma'am. Kalpana ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kiran ma'am. A very good morning to respected faculty and administration and all the wonderful friends out there. I wish to thank Department of Advanced Management Studies, GS College of Commerce, Wardha, for giving me this wonderful opportunity of interacting with the students. And I especially thank the principal, Dr. Sahibrao Chauhan, the convener, Professor Shubhangi Jepulkar, and co-convener, Professor Kiran Nagre. And I thank you all, actually, Parikshit sir as well. I mean, who all are like involved in this session. I want to thank them all for inviting me. And since it's not an interactive session, I, with all due permission and respect from the authority, let me start with my presentation on the topic of a role of a manager in environmental sustainability. So, may I have the slides, please?
Just a second. Yes, ma'am.
Are the slides visible? Thank you so much. I'll be starting with a presentation now. The environment is an important issue when even when society is faced with economic crisis, wars, and unending social problems. It matters because Earth is the only home that humans have, and it provides air, food, and other needs. I mean, can you see it? I mean, the British economist Sir Nicholas Stern, he says that climate change is the result of the greatest market failure the world has ever seen. So true of him. And if you can see here, is there a disturbance? Hello? I can hear a lot of disturbance. Okay, let us continue. Okay, may I continue? Okay, so I already told you that why environment matters is because Earth is the only home that humans have, as you can see in the slide. The third slide. The third slide, please. The third slide, please. Are we on the third slide?
We are on the third slide only, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Next, please.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
So, in today's world, companies and government have started to recognize that sustainability is good for business. Now, what is this sustainability? This definition is based on the 1987 report of the World Commission on Environment and Development, commonly referred to as the Brundtland report, which states that sustainable development meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Now, who is this Brundtland? Miss Brundtland, her name was Gro Harlem Brundtland, and she served 3 terms as Prime Minister of Norway and as Director General of WHO from 1998 to 2003. She is also known for having chaired the Brundtland Commission, which presented the Brundtland Report on Sustainable Development. Are we on the 4th slide? Where?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, but the Google, she is Miss Brundtland. I'm a big fan of hers. If you find time, kindly go ahead and Google her name. You'll find out, how much work she has done on sustainable development. Now, the Google definition is the ability to be maintained at a certain level or rate. This is the definition of sustainability according to Google. And whereas in reference to context, avoidance of the depletion of natural resources in order to maintain an ecological balance. That means इतना use करो जितना आगे वालों के लिए बचा रहे, future generations के लिए. Sustainability means meeting our own needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. In addition to natural resources, we also need social and economic resources. So can we have the next slide, please?
Yes, ma'am.
In fact, sustainability refers to 4 distinct areas. These are also known as the 4 pillars of sustainability. As you can clearly see here, these 4 pillars are human, social, economic, and environmental. So human sustainability aims to maintain and improve the human capital in society. Investments in the health and education systems, access to services, nutrition, knowledge, as we are fast becoming a knowledge society, and skills are all programs under the umbrella of human sustainability. Coming to the second point, social sustainability aims to preserve social capital by investing, maintaining, and creating services that constitute the framework of our society. The concept envisages a larger view of the world in relation to communities, cultures, and globalization. Now let's see the third one. Economic sustainability is the ability of an economy to support a defined level of economic production indefinitely. It aims to maintain the capital intact. And now the last, environmental sustainability aims to improve human welfare through the protection of natural resources. Initiatives and programs are defined as environmentally sustainable when they ensure that the needs of the population are met without the risk of compromising the needs of future generations. Again, इतना ही use करो, ऐसे ही use करो जो future generations के लिए बचा रहे. Amongst the 4 pillars of sustainability, I'm going to focus on environmental sustainability. Next, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the main features of sustainable development. The main features would be it respects and cares for all kinds of life forms. It improves the quality of the human life. It minimizes the depletion of natural resources. It enables the communities to care for their own environment. Are we on the 6th slide?
We are on the main features slide.
Okay. Next, please.
Yes.
Okay, from a management perspective, sustainable development presents some distinct challenges for which there has been limited practical guidance. Regarding management in relation to sustainable development, we need to identify key management practices and processes that constitute due regard for environmental effects and that can be used to assess the government's management practices for sustainable development. Next, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, I think the slides are going behind or something because I can see the main features wala slide now on the YouTube.
That is, yes. YouTube is lacking behind for some seconds, I believe. Right now, we are on the rainwater harvesting slide now.
Okay. So we already told you that we need to identify key management practices. and processes that constitute due regard for environmental effects, and that can be used to assess the government's management practices for SD. SD, I'm using SD for sustainable development. Next, please. If you look at these slides carefully, I mean, even we can go back to the slides again, and if you look at the slides carefully, the photos, the images that I have used, if you can take some hints from the photos that these are the very small steps or very small, very small ideas that can be implemented to, to make your unit of management sustainable, environmental sustainable. Like you can see in the previous slide, if you can see, there was a group of staff or employees who was cycling towards their respective departments. So that can be used again. I mean, the vehicles can be parked somewhere at a distance, and cycles can be provided to the staff or employees, and they can go to the respective departments by using cycles. And this image is showing you, use of solar energy, rainwater harvesting. Also, IGBC means Indian Council of Green Buildings. That is an organization that gives you a green building certification. So green building means where a building for your company or corporate where the use of electricity, water, etc. is minimized. So all these things can be used to make your unit of work green or sustainable. Now, okay, great. Thank you so much. And if we can see the next slide, you can see the environmental managers are positioned to play a critical role in advancing environmental sustainability and social responsibility in their organizations. And if you can see the cycle wala slide, you can also see there's a plastic-free zone image. So you can also make your unit plastic-free to make it sustainable. Now, next, the embedded role of environmental managers in the organization positions them to collaborate with several other departments or functional areas on sustainability and social responsibility efforts. The abilities may not be fully realized. Beyond technical and regulatory compliance-related efforts, their abilities compliance-related efforts to manage environmental impacts and prevent pollution, environmental managers may be underutilized. But you can be a great environmental manager. I mean, the students, I'm referring to students now. Now, Butler in 2009 argues that environmental managers serve a multifunctional role and continually strive for more sustainable practices that can be accomplished through more efficient processes and more eco-friendly raw materials. I don't know if you can see in the slide, I mean, here, use of, waste material has been used to, best out of waste kind of stuff. So waste material has been used to, greenify the workplace. So things like this can also be used. Ideas like this can also be used. Now, sustainability managers ensure that the company upholds and works towards finding new, innovative, and economically reductive ways to stay green. You'll be in charge of developing, implementing, and monitoring company or organizational environmental strategies. If you can see here, this image will be showing you that big companies in the world over, like Google and Apple, all these companies are going green. I'll tell you, it will come again in the presentation. Again, we'll be talking about this. Next, please.
After big companies, what?
I'm sorry?
After the big company is going green slide, right?
Yes. Next, please. Now, if you can see here, I mean, can we go to the 11th slide?
The title will be, ma'am,
title would be like Sustainable Development broadly focuses on the following. After the big company image slide.
Okay. Done.
Yes. After this. Next to this one.
Key bottom line.
Okay, now sustainable development broadly focuses on the following, which encompasses underlying objectives like the use of various resources, preservation, identification of sustainable sources, sustainable usage, etc. Planning of economic growth to ensure least environmental impact. This go paperless. Your unit can also go paperless, and you make use of more and more use of virtual world. I mean, Shubhangi ma'am, who is one of the conveners here, she also gave me this idea of going paperless. So credit goes to her. And next, please. Next, please.
Three bottom lines, ma'am.
Yes, yes, three bottom lines.
Yes, we are on the right slide now.
Great. Okay. I can see that I think a little bit late than you, maybe. That is why I'm getting confused. Okay. No problem. Sustainable management is the intersection of business and sustainability. It is a practice of managing a firm's impact on three bottom lines. This is a very famous or very trending kind of fundamental that is going on in the management studies. So these three bottom lines are people, planet, and profit. So that all three can prosper in the future. Traditionally, business leaders concerned themselves with their bottom lines or the monetary profits. Profit was the only concern, right? And today, more leaders have begun to think sustainably, and the triple bottom line theory expands the traditional accounting framework to include two other performance areas: the social and environmental impacts of the company. These three bottom lines are often referred to as the three P's, or people, planet, and profit. Now, amongst these three P's, the people section, people considers employees, the labor involved in a corporation's work, and the wider community where a corporation does business. Another way Another way to look at people is how much does the company benefit society. A triple bottom line company pays fair wages and takes steps to ensure humane working conditions as supplier factories. A 2016 Gallup poll revealed that 64% of Americans are worried about global warming. Now, public opinion has dictated that enterprises that harm the environment should also bear the cost, and you can get businesses are taking notice. The planet piece of the triple bottom line indicates that an organization tries to reduce its ecological footprint as much as possible. I'm very sure all of you must be knowing about the ecological footprint. These efforts can
Yes,
include
ma'am.
reducing waste. Great. These efforts can include reducing waste, investing in renewable energy, managing natural resources more efficiently, and improving logistics. As we have already seen, like investing in renewable energy, like solar energy, wind energy, hydroelectricity, maybe if the unit is situated near to coastal areas. Now, for example, Apple has invested heavily in environmental sustainability. Its massive US data centers are LEED certified. This is regarding something to environment. Okay, in 2016, the company announced that 93% of its energy comes from renewables. We can definitely achieve till 60%, right? These actions have nudged other tech giants like Facebook and Google towards using more renewable energy sources to power facilities. Now, while every business pursues financial profitability, triple bottom line businesses see it as one part of a business plan. Sustainable organizations also recognize that profit isn't diametrically opposite to people or planet. Swedish furniture giant IKEA reported sales of $37.6 billion in 2016. The same year, the company turned a profit by recycling waste into some of its best-selling products. Imagine waste into best-selling products. Now, before this waste had cost the company more than $1 million per year, and the company is well on its way to zero waste to landfill worldwide. Zero waste. We'll come to this. According to Jonna Yarrow, IKEA is head of sustainability for the UK. We don't do this because we are tree huggers. We do this because it's very cost effective. That means, again, money is the motto, but then sustainable money is the motto. Now, next, please. Now, sustainable management is needed because it is an important part of the ability to successfully maintain the quality of life on our planet. This can be by making decisions that will help sustain our immediate surroundings and environment, or it can be by managing our emotional and physical well-being. Next, please. I can see the slides late.
We are on to building a compost bin slide, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Green and sustainable business ideas deliver more than profits. Beyond the feel good impact that comes with making the world a better place, environmentally conscious and green business cater to a rapidly growing market. This composting thing, though I cannot see the slide, this composting thing, of course, I mean, that can also be very much used in your own unit or workplace. And this is a very different topic. I mean, an individual topic altogether where you need to learn how to compost things, and this will be, giving you a very positive image in the business world. And then next, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Despite the fact that millennials are coming of age in one of the most difficult economic climates in the past 100 years, according to a recent Nielsen Global online study, they continue to be most willing to pay extra for sustainable offerings. Almost 3 out of 4 respondents in the latest findings. That means 3 out of 4 people are willing to pay extra if things are environmentally sustainable or organic. Okay, so times are changing. Generation Z does not want to be left behind either. The rise in the percentage of respondents ages 15 to 20 who are willing to pay more for products and services that come from companies who are committed to positive social and environmental impact hovered around 72%. Next, please. I don't know if you can see in the slides regular tree plantation programs in the office premises would motivate your staff to to be more green. And in the next slide again, if you can see the parking, there's a lot of disturbance. Okay, again, if you see in the next slide, the parking is quite green. Again, the canteen area is quite green. I mean, this is totally in your hands. If you want, you can make your workplace like this itself.
Yes, ma'am.
Next, please. Businesses that establish sustainable or green values or practices have an opportunity to grow market share and build loyalty among consumers now and in the future. If your consumers or customers know that you are so green, you'll be, a hit, a super hit. Next, please. Top management involvement is sustainability management of the company is one of the key success factors for sustainable development of company. Top managers not only provide resources and design incentives for employees to promote sustainability initiatives, but also strong influence organizational culture and company-wide decision-making processes through their commitment and leadership. If you can see in the images, if I'm on the right slide, a lot of indoor plantation has also been done. So this will again give you a green picture inside the workplace again.
Yes, ma'am.
Are we on the right slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Next, please. Now, during the past few years, there has been an increasing trend among companies across the globe to voluntarily embrace and implement a wide range of sustainability practices. The fast accelerating rate of this adoption has also triggered an argument about the nature of sustainability and its long-standing consequences for organizations. Is the implementation of sustainability practices a form of strategic differentiation by the companies, or can it lead to greater financial performance? Yes, of course. Or is it a strategic inevitability that can guarantee corporate survival but not necessarily outperformance? Yes, you do outperform. As already told, that consumers would like to pay more if it is environmentally sustainable. In the pictures again, I mean, the staff is involved in, plantation and, the outdoor activities that involve environmental sustainability, and the organization can give certificates or awards for being, for practicing the sustainability, works around. Next, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, as more and more young people enter the workforce, the concept of green companies and ethical environment management is gaining widespread popularity. Some say sustainability is making its way in a company's strategy as a common practice, and as such, it can never help the business in forming a competitive advantage. On the other hand, some experts experts believe that sustainability can be profitable because adoption of environmental or waste management systems has resulted in cost reduction and improvement in overall profits. The photos here will be showing you that whenever you leave your office, you have to turn off the lights, and then switching off to LED bulbs would be reducing energy consumption, and the technical change in the tap system also can save much more water. Of course, all these images are a suggestion for you to adopt in your workplace. This will be, as a manager, you will be practicing sustainable development in your workplace itself. That will be a common practice again. Okay. Now, next, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Whatever the case, sustainability can indeed be a strategy that can easily generate a competitive advantage and consequently result in profitable financial performance. Um, as you can see here, a road has been built by using plastic waste. And nowadays, this method or this practice is, widely adopted. Some municipal corporations are also using this. So, in your workplace, if the roads are built using this method, then again, you will be a super hit again. And zero waste has come again. So, by composting, as we had seen earlier, by composting and recycling, you can go for zero waste. The third image will be showing you the importance of recycling, reusing, reducing. So recycling is very much important, and I think this should not be missed by your organization at all. Next, please. Now, businesses need to draw a clear differentiation between operational efficiency and strategy, with increasing emphasis on mission, vision, and values. These are called MVVs. Companies can incorporate the concepts of sustainability into the DNA of MVVs. Very much a common practice, so that it comes into your DNA, and can make environmental management part of the business quality process. Since strategy is all about transforming MVVs into competitive advantage and performance output, such a strategy can indeed be different and difficult to match. Next, please.
Yes, ma'am.
I have tried to show you the competitive advantage and performance output here by using these images. I don't know if you are able to get it. Next, please. Now, according to the data from Msci Esg Ratings, this is an organization that rates the organizations, the largest provider of ESG. ESG means environmental, social, and governance data in the world from 2012 to 2018. About 4,000 companies across different industries showed that sustainability practices have merged over time. These results prove that companies have adopted an increasingly similar set of sustainability practices during the sample period, increasing the likelihood that they are becoming corporate practices, and as such are less probable to oblige as a strategic differentiator and more likely to be a strategic compulsion. MSCI is a leading provider of critical decision support tools and services for the global investment companies. Next, please.
Yes, ma'am.
As work dynamics and corporate value shifts from just being financially profitable to highly profitable and considerate towards environment and society, young business owners, managers, and HR professionals need to find ways to incorporate sustainability and environmental protection beyond the narrow focus on the cross-sectional understanding of sustainability practices. Sustainability in today's competitive and technologically driven work environment can be both a necessity and a differentiator. Some of these activities are simply becoming best practices, and so are stipulations. But ESG data shows that a large number of companies are developing real profitable strategic advantage by embracing sustainability measures which their competitors can't easily match. And however, the role of HR, I mean, if this is a very small, young age HR that I have shown. The role of HR is important because a shift in the values can result in tremendous problems for an organization. Companies that are used to developing profits at the cost of environmental, economic, and psychological damage to individuals and society needs time, commitment, and efforts towards this paradigm shift. Of course, people would be needing time to shift from, profit-minded business to sustainable business. And now, as per United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs report, Youth and 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, there are 1.2 billion young people accounting for 16% of the total global population. The active engagement of youth in sustainable development efforts is central to achieving sustainable, inclusive, and stable development. China needs to prepare the future leaders and workforce with the values based on morals that environmental management is not just part of a corporate social responsibility plan, but the entire concept of sustainability is beneficial for the society as well as profitable for the business. Next, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Which slide are we on?
We are
Which
on
slide are we
Amazon.
on? Okay, the slide before that. I mean, I think we are going far ahead now.
So it's a
Okay.
bunch of people, and there is
Right. Exactly.
correct.
Exactly. I wanted to express that while young executives do progressively seem to be moving towards accomplishment on climate change, public decrees to cut their own emissions or developing renewable energy are becoming the norm in big companies. However, only time will tell if it's enough to keep the next generation of customers and the millennial content. Next generation of customers, if you can see here, there's trolley, shopping trolley with the green thing in there. That means the green-minded customers. Okay, if companies can be comfortable taking stern public stance on issues like workplace violence, gender discrimination, and work life balance, then why not on the environment? It should be as simple as that. I mean, being green or sustainable should be as important as gender discrimination or workplace violence. We have laws for that in the workplace. So, laws regarding sustainable development should also be in place in the workplace again. Now, next.
Yes, ma'am.
With Amazon being the market leader, it has a responsibility to minimize its negative impacts on the environment. The company has pledged to work towards sustainability. It announced a plan to reach net zero carbon emissions on its deliveries by 2030 and share its carbon footprint numbers later this year. So good of amazing. I think everybody should follow it, all the big companies. Now, sustainability managers are passionate about creating and implementing changes that will have a ripple effect on mankind and the world. They enact and enforce policies in multiple domains to sustain current and future generations. These professionals are essential to the management of the science behind these efforts, assurance of compliance with environmental legislation, and management of stakeholders and the public. Next, please. There's a lot of disturbance again. I mean, I can hear the horns and all horns of the vehicles. So, could you please mute it, whoever is, near the horns?
Ma'am, this is our department is adjoined to a Sepagram railway station where every train passing by
Okay,
is
okay,
to Mahatma Gandhi ji being the
okay.
Sepagram ashram being nearby. So this is why we
Okay.
yeah getting these voices. Kindly excuse us for that.
Okay. No problem, no problem. Okay, then, next, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. The World Health Organization estimates that people spend around one third of their adult life at work. Workplaces are therefore instrumental in the sustainable development of our societies and environment. Equally, businesses have a responsibility to embed environmentally sustainable behaviors and values into their workforce. I mean, please take a hint from all the photos or images that have been used in the PPT. I mean, while I speak, you should also focus on the images because the images have all the hints how you can make your workplace more sustainable. Next, please. Now, it can sometimes seem that environmental sustainability is low on the business priority list, but according to KMPG 2015, again an organization, 92% of the top 250 global companies are reporting on environmental impact as part of their corporate social responsibility reports. We know that what gets measured gets managed, and this is definitely a growing trend. But what part does top management have to play in positive environmental behaviors? Again, a 2010 Network for Business Sustainability survey found that top management commitment is the most significant factor in driving corporate sustainability. Next, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Employees are much more likely to exhibit sustainable behaviors if there is top management or perceived corporate commitment. This was found to be even more significant a factor than personal values or individual environmental interests. Of course, if I'm individually interested, in making the world green, that won't matter much unless and until the top management is involved. It should come from top management. Next, please. Please have a look at this cartoon. It's sarcasm, of course, but then take the hint. Not only are actions from top management important, but the language of sustainability is also crucial. Communication should come from top managers and use positive and motivating vocabulary to rally the workforce into making more sustainable choices towards a goal that is truly meaningful. Now, of course, positive and motivating vocabulary to be used to the employees, not this kind of vocabulary that is being used here. She's saying that what if we don't change at all and something magical just happens? No, nothing magical would happen unless and until you try hard and very hard for sustainable changes. Next, please. People must be intrinsically motivated to order to fully commit to achieving something. That is, employees must feel compelled towards a purpose that is greater than themselves. For this reason, effective employee engagement and communication is crucial to embedding any change and the most powerful catalyst towards sustainable workplaces. I mean, this employees, the staff, all the staff, the entire workplace should be engaged in, sustainable activities, like you can see in the image. That will be motivating enough, because doing is believing. Next, please. There is an abundance of positive environmental leadership around the globe, with top corporations making truly meaningful and ambitious commitments to reducing the environmental impact. This is fast becoming an arena within which large companies must perform well in order to grow. You can see here again, companies like Johnson & Johnson, Walmart, Nike, all are using 100% renewable energy. We saw that 92% was what was, kept as a target by Amazon, but here 100% renewable energy is being used. Next, please. Renewable energy, like solar energy, wind energy, hydro energy. Now, next here, in fact, consumers are beginning to demand ethical products from sustainably conscious companies. A Nielsen survey shows that 72% of millennials are willing to pay more for products and services from brands that commit to having a positive environmental and social impact. Ethical products means, for example, is organic farming. All these things are called ethical products. Now, next, please. In most industries, sustainability is becoming a vital competing factor, and with millennials attributing so much importance to sustainability values, this trend is likely to continue. The plain matter of fact is that companies not doing their bit will get left behind. This isn't a new revelation. Businesses have understood the importance of the triple bottom line for many years. Triple bottom line we have seen earlier: people, profit, planet. Now, environmental leadership starts with incremental changes in the workplace and develops into a corporate culture with environmental sustainability at its core. And this must be led by top managers. Again, why I'm focusing on top managers is because the students who are now listening to this presentation, these students would be managers in their future, their careers, and they learn that every practices or common practices in the workplace should be coming from the top management. So if they learn it now, this will be very good for the future. Next slide, please. Now we know that workplace is a crucial frontier on the journey to alleviating climate change and reducing our impact on the planet. Therefore, it is of paramount importance for top management to get ahead of the competition and make bold environmental commitments. I'll be repeating this. Make bold environmental commitments. Next. It may take just the youngest breed of corporate executives and managers to get companies to take a real and public stand for collaborative global action on climate change and environmental protection without compromising on the profitability. After all, if they don't, they seriously risk getting out of the step with an entire generation of employees and customers who are and will be the new millennial. So profit does counts, but then profit, planet, and people all are important. Next, please. Going green helps the planet and your business too. It can help with differentiating you from the competition, attracting customers who care about the climate, and in saving money. Start taking steps to go green and see the positive impact you can make. Next, please. Now, let's go ahead and see the definition of sustainability management. It means sustainability management is a discipline that melds climate science and business. And sustainability managers interact with the general public, other researchers, and stakeholders of all backgrounds to develop sustainable alternatives to the project in question while keeping the economic well being of the firm a priority. This work takes many forms, and these forms are sustainable business management, sustainable forest management. Yes, this involves me. I'm very happy that at least a word forest is here now. So I really I'm linked with it. Now, sustainable supply chain management, sustainable waste management. The common thread that unites these positions is the intersection between the corporate world and environmental science. Sustainability managers work within these industries to initiate and oversee sustainable practices. Next, please. You, right? You won't be liking this image at all, but green managers won't be, green like this. You'll be something different. Now, what do sustainability managers do? A sustainability manager, also known as a director of sustainability or a chief sustainability officer, is responsible for analyzing and predicting the present and future of the firm they represent. They evaluate its effect on health of the environment, particularly the immediate environment surrounding the firm. The sustainability manager must always be aware of and adhere to the needs of the firm to ensure sustained profitability. This may potentially result in dramatic changes to the way the firm is run. They must monitor the environmental impact of their firm at all times in order to make decisions regarding the changes needed for the health of the environment and growth of the firm. Now, a career as a sustainability manager requires an individual to be very comfortable with public speaking as well as interpersonal communication. A manager of any sort, especially a sustainability manager, must also have the necessary leadership skills to effectively supervise and guide a multitude of staff and stakeholders. Now, let me also tell you, since this PPT, this presentation is meant for students, what I did was the first part of the presentation focused on the managers that are not specific, I mean the general managers. But then now from the last slide, when I gave the definition of sustainability management and its many forms, I'm focusing on the career aspect of management. By the career aspect, I mean that students can go for sustainability managers as their career choice. So that is why I'm focusing on this. While I was researching on this topic, I just came through it and I thought that sharing this career prospect would be very much useful for the students. That is why I did this, and I have included some slides that will be useful for the students to think of the sustainability managers as their career option. So I already told you about the sustainable managers' work, the job profile. Now, where do sustainability managers work? Next slide, please. Are we on the same slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Where do sustainability managers work? S stands for sustainability. Now, these people are often hired to represent firms or corporations that are too large to ensure sustainability practices without an individual dedicated to the task. That means an individual sustainability manager for the task. Hiring a sustainability manager allows a company to control its impact on the surrounding community by accomplishing the following. Now, I'm going to give you the points. Complying with environmental regulations at federal, state, or central government, state government, or at local levels. Now, enacting policies to ensure that the company is environmentally and socially responsible. Now, educating stakeholders and the public regarding the importance of sustainable management practices, and improving corporate reputation. How does the reputation of a corporate improves? I think if you make your name, you spread the fame that you practice the common sustainability sustainability works in your workplace, you'll be getting, again, I'll be using the word super hit, and you'll be gaining the fame for being sustainable. This is how your reputation would be improving. Now, sustainability managers don't just work in private firms and corporations. They are also employed by local, state, or central governments and professional and teaching consulting firms, technical consulting firms, I'm sorry. They can be found in the manufacturing industry and in healthcare. A large percentage of sustainability managers are self-employed and run their own private firms. You can go for the self-employment funda. This is also very good. I mean, no one is my boss kind. Next slide, please. Who is a corporate sustainability manager? A corporate sustainability manager primarily develops and implements sustainability strategies that are specific to a corporation. They're also responsible for educating employees about a company policy to handle potentially deleterious environmental impacts. Corporate sustainability manager offers three major benefits to the corporations they serve. These benefits are: they help to ensure that the corporation avoids negative press and adverse legal action and complies with current sustainability legislation. You must be knowing that there are several legislations regarding environment, like environmental impact assessment, Environmental Act and Biodiversity Act and Wildlife Act. There are many acts related to environment, and therefore legal action can be taken if these legislations are violated. Now, second is improve the corporation's public image, focusing on portraying the corporation's intent to care for the environment and take responsibility for corporate activities. Next is improve the bottom line of the corporation by instituting practices that minimize waste, reduce the corporation's carbon footprint, and maximize efficiency. At their core, the duties of corporate sustainability managers are similar to those in private firms. However, the scale and breadth of their work is a key distinction. There's one more option for you, for your career, that is Chief Sustainability Officer. Now, this person works on mitigating the environmental impact on a more narrow scale. This position is concerned with the development and execution of strategies that are industry specific, such as energy consumption, resource conservation, recycling, transportation, and sustainable architecture. These issues can be on the level of a district or country and even in the central government. Now, Chief Sustainability Officers are also responsible for the supervision of employees and volunteers working on sustainability projects. Additionally, they research environmental legislation and address stakeholder concerns. The main tenets of this career are nearly identical to those of the corporate sustainability manager, but they have the flexibility of adapting to various municipalities and mitigating efforts like recycling. Now, let's omit this because this is just too much in minute detail. Next slide, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Sustainable managers in engineering. They are tasked with innovating technical solutions for reducing waste and cutting costs. And these people in engineering may also be responsible for developing methods to increase employee safety by reducing work-related risks such as illness and injury. Engineers, managers, all in one. A common item of debate and concern in social, political, and business circles is the question of how corporations adversely impact the world around them through their business operations. One such negative externality is a corporation's effect on the environment, whether it comes to energy efficiency, resource consumption, or waste production. To minimize this effect, corporations may hire sustainability managers. Next, please. We'll talk about corporate benefits now. This is where managers focus more. So corporations hire sustainability managers because doing so benefits a company in three general ways. First, sustainability managers help to ensure the company avoid bad press and adverse legal actions such as fines by abiding by current sustainability requirements that the government has in place and by preparing for such requirements that will go into effect in the near future. Second, sustainability managers improve the company's public image by showing that it truly cares about the environment and seeks to be responsible. Third, sustainability managers help to improve the bottom line by instituting practices that minimize waste and maximize efficiency. An example would be suggesting that a company should invest in solar panels to minimize its dependence on the power grid. We already have seen this use of solar power instead of the thermal energy. Now, next, please. The outlook. As sustainability technology continue to develop and as society becomes increasingly concerned with sustainability issues, the demand for corporate sustainability managers should continue to increase. So no doubt the students who are listening to this PPT should go for this career choice. because lots of scope is there. Now, such managers must continue to educate themselves regarding current developments in green technology and waste reduction to provide useful and progressive advisement for the employers. Again, green energy, green technology, waste reduction, all these words must be your primary focus, primary concern during your future prospects. Now, environmental managers manage the development and implementation of environmental management systems within organizations by identifying, solving, and alleviating environmental issues such as pollution and waste treatment in compliance with environmental legislation and to ensure corporate sustainable development. Now, task. This is very important. Develops and implements environmental strategies, policies, practices, and action plans to ensure corporate sustainable development, coordinates all aspects of pollution control, waste management, recycling, environmental health, conservation, and renewable energy to ensure compliance with environmental legislation. Now, audits, analyzes, and reports environmental performance to internal and external clients and regulatory bodies, carries out impact assessments to identify, assess, and reduce an organization's environmental risk and financial costs, promotes, raises awareness, and trains staff at all levels on environmental issues and responsibilities, negotiates environmental service agreements, and manages associated costs and revenues. Next, please. We are talking about environmental leadership now. We know that the workplace is a crucial frontier on the journey to alleviating climate change and reducing our impact on the planet. And I'm repeating this, therefore, it is of paramount importance for top management to get ahead of the competition and make bold environmental commitments. Again, I repeat this. Get ahead of the competition and make bold environmental commitments. And now this environmental commitments means going green. Okay, thank you. This is the end of my slide now. I would like to, stop here. Thank you so much for being such a wonderful audience. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Just a second. Yes, so that was very amazing and very thoughtful session for us, ma'am. So as you
Thank you so much.
incorporate the concept that is, what if we don't change at all and something magical just happens, right? But
Right.
no magic won't be happening, and we need to
Right.
stand up. We need to make bold environmental commitments. We should convert ourselves towards the ethical products only, and as you correctly incorporated the various career opportunities for the students of MBA, we are very thankful to you, ma'am, for those aspects actually. And yes, on that note, I would like to conclude this session. I would like to thank Ms. Kalpana Chinchkhede, ma'am, for this wonderful and amazing session. On behalf of, I would like to thank our principal, sir, Dr. Sahib Rao Chauhan, our IQC coordinator and MBA coordinator, Professor Shri Agrawal, sir, for giving us opportunity and to provide the students the very emerging management trends on daily basis, right? So I would like to thank our assistant coordinator, Dr. Shrikant Bhavsi, sir, and the convener of this national webinar, Professor Shubhangi Jepulkar, ma'am. And I would like to conclude this session. I thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.